Mnangagwa sparks national outcry after refusing to fund orphanages, hospitals, and schools in Zimbabwe. In a nation where the heartbeat of the people often echoes through the walls of its schools, the corridors of its hospitals, and the quiet shelters of its orphanages, few decisions weigh as heavily as those that directly affect the most vulnerable. This week, Zimbabweans were left stunned after reports surfaced that President Emmerson Mnangagwa has declined to allocate additional government funding to key social institutions, specifically orphanages, hospitals, and public schools. Before we unpack the depth and implications of this decision, I urge you to subscribe to my channel for more breaking political stories, expert analysis, and behind-the-scenes insights from Zimbabwe and across Africa. Your support helps keep the conversation alive and uncensored. Now, let's dive into this developing story that's gripped the nation. According to several sources close to government insiders, budget proposals aimed at increasing financial support for orphanages, state-run hospitals, and underfunded rural schools were tabled before cabinet and rejected. While the reasons cited include budget constraints and reprioritization of national resources, critics argue this move reflects a deeply concerning trend in how the administration is choosing to allocate public funds. For a country still reeling from economic challenges, a struggling healthcare system, and a public education sector in dire need of support, this announcement feels like a gut punch. The timing couldn't be worse. With inflation continuing to rise and poverty rates showing no sign of retreat, institutions like these are the last line of defense for many families. Social workers across Zimbabwe have expressed alarm. Many orphanages rely on partial government grants to feed, clothe, and educate abandoned children. Hospitals, especially in rural and high-density areas, are already operating with bare minimum supplies, facing chronic shortages of medicine and equipment. And public school teachers, already among the lowest-paid civil servants, have warned that the lack of investment in infrastructure and learning materials will only further cripple the education system. What has really fired up public sentiment, however, is the perceived contradiction between this refusal to fund essential services and the government's ongoing expenditure in other areas. Lavish spending on foreign trips, luxury vehicles for officials, and massive infrastructure projects with questionable transparency have become frequent headlines in Zimbabwe's media. The contrast between what is prioritized and what is neglected has not gone unnoticed. Even some members within ZANU-PF are reportedly unsettled. Political analysts believe this could trigger internal debates as elections draw near and public dissatisfaction continues to grow. While Mnangagwa has not yet addressed the public directly on the matter, pressure is mounting for a clear explanation. And let's be clear, this isn't just about politics. This is about the everyday lives of Zimbabwean children who go to bed hungry in orphanages, patients who die in understaffed and under-equipped hospitals, and students trying to learn in classrooms without books, electricity, or even desks. The refusal to fund these vital services strikes at the heart of Zimbabwe's future. Once again, if you're just joining us, make sure to subscribe to this channel for exclusive updates and untold stories that you won't hear on mainstream platforms. We break it down with clarity, courage, and care for the people. As public outcry intensifies, protests may not be far behind. Civil society organizations, churches, and youth groups are already mobilizing to demand transparency and a redirection of funds towards social care systems. The question now is whether the government will reverse course under pressure, or dig in its heels and risk further alienating the very people it claims to serve. In conclusion, President Mnangagwa's decision not to fund orphanages, hospitals, and schools has ignited a firestorm of criticism and concern. It's a defining moment for Zimbabwe, one that could reshape the political conversation leading into the next election cycle. Will the leadership listen to the cries of its people, or will this be remembered as a moment where the nation's priorities drifted too far from its people? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay locked in. The story is still unfolding, and you'll want to be the first to know what happens next.